Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Inside the Cougar Den. Today we're joined by Jaylin Austin from the Rugby Team. Jaylin, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
And the Rugby Team had their first ever event this past weekend at the Tri-State Conference Sevens. What are some of your thoughts on how the team performed in their inaugural day?
We played very well, even though it was our first time playing. Most of us, majority of the team, we didn't really have as much time to prep. But even though we did prep the amount of time we did, we came in, we did great, and many more times to come in the coming events.
And we opened up with a victory. How did it feel to win your first ever rugby match?
It felt amazing. I've been talking about playing rugby with my mom and my family for the longest, and I know we have a team here. It felt amazing to play with new people, people who didn't know what they were doing. Most of us didn't know, and then we just came together as a team, as a family, and it just felt amazing to have as many victories as we did.
And the Caldwell diehards might know your name because you're also on our sprint football team as a fullback. How does that experience translate into rugby?
Football and rugby share a lot with the running, the sight, the viewing, which holes to go through, how fast you need to gauge your speed, where you need to cut, where you need to drive at. So a lot of that translated into it very well. And I thank my coaches, Coach Kelly, and my coaches in high school for teaching me these many different skills, as well as Coach Corsett for giving me the drive and the skills to do that.
All right. And there's you guys were practicing, you're getting ready, but there's no experience like getting to play and see how the game goes against other teams. Now seeing that, what do you want to work on in practice to get ready for our next event?
Definitely practice. We got to work on a cohesive unit as a whole. We have to be able to execute better. We have to be able to gauge our speed as well. We have to learn how to push a little harder sometimes. But all in all, we can turn from a great team into an excellent team with just a little bit more effort and time.
As we talked about, this was your first ever time playing rugby. What were some of your concerns and thoughts as you were preparing for the game?
Seeing as I am on the sprint football team, the biggest thing for me was keeping myself healthy and being on top of my any type of things that may be going on with me physically. And for anybody else on the team who was going through that, the biggest thing for us is to make sure we are healthy as well. Especially if you're playing another sport, especially as physical as rugby, even lacrosse, things like that. Your body's very important. The one thing that me as a person personally, have learned to do was to keep myself out of harm's way, to put myself in a better position to make a tackle that's a little more safer than most of the other people on the team. Of course, I did a little hitting, but it wasn't as big. I had help from other people on my team. So with that, if you do want to play rugby, if you do want to be a part of that, we have ways of gauging that and being able to put you in a better position. You do get to think for yourself. You don't just get told where to be put. You put yourself in a position to be better. If you have to make a side tackle safely, you make that side tackle. If you have to run up behind somebody and clip their ankle so you don't put your full body into it, do that instead. It's just a lot of versatility within the rugby running and tackling.
And seeing how your skills were able to translate to rugby and the fun you had playing rugby, would you recommend other student athletes and just people in general to try rugby?
I would absolutely recommend it. It's great for your mental fortitude. We practice a lot. We practice in the morning. It took a lot of effort and time to bring everybody together. It took a lot of tired hours and all that. So it puts you into a position where you learn how to be better for yourself physically, for your team, mentally as well for your team. And it's very good. It's a team sport. It's a family, and you build a lot with it all together. So I would definitely recommend playing it if you want for your own self as a whole.
All right, well, perfect. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it so much.
The rugby team returns to action on April 10th. Be on the lookout at CaldwellAthletics.com for more information on the event.